Now, here's something a bit surprising. One of my favorite games on the planet decided to spin off and create its own walking simulator horror game. Knowing some of the scares present in the Secret World, I'd love to see how Funcom handles a title focused completely on its psychological horror.
Near a great forest, there lived a poor woodcutter, his wife and his 2 children. A boy named Hansel and a girl named Gretel. They
This gets better, right? As I'd just said, the park is a psychological horror game taking place within the universe of the MMO The Secret World, and one of the most iconic locations within that game, Atlantic Island Park, showing us that Atlantic Island Park was messed up far before the fog ever showed up. Since I'm a huge fan of The Secret World, the game holds a place for me regardless, even without it being a horror game, simply because I'll recognize things within it while non-fans wouldn't even remark on their presence. It gives the game a bit of a twofold presentation, as despite being marketed as a standalone game, there's dozens of moments that will only have an effect on Secret World fans. Graphically, the game is gorgeous, which Secret World always was, provided you have a beefy enough PC to get past its awfully optimized engine, but there's plenty of recycled yet updated assets from TSW, like the character models, a few of the cardboard standees, the dolls, and of course the park itself, which might come across as familiar but unrecognizable compared to its locations in the game. I had to take a second look to make sure that the Octotron was the Octotron because I don't remember it being in the middle of a lake. Funcom isn't exactly a best foot forward kind of company, and the park makes no exception. From the glacial walking pace to the ticket booth and up the escalator, and Callum's too stupid to live behavior, to Lorraine's wistful, sadophilosophical musings, and the no-joke 7-minute-long Tunnel of Tales ride, which serves up nothing but a retelling of Hansel and Gretel for the sake of plot theming, and one unintentionally hilarious end scare. Stomach past that kind of goofiness, though, and the game starts to go a bit more off the rails. Less terrifying are the jump scares, which are used rather sparingly and to pretty good effect in places, and some of the ride cutscenes may come across as goofy or unintentionally hilarious, but only a few of the rides are actually required to progress or grant access to a previously locked-off area. What comes across far more interesting are clues scattered throughout the park, some easily missable, some just baffling, with plenty of them having Secret World winks and nods that'll make you want to know just what the hell is going on with this park, provided that you're not a Secret World fan, in which case you already know. The gameplay consists mostly of walking from set piece to set piece, using a mechanic I like to call right-click to Callum, which will have Callum call back out to you from the distance, as well as highlight a nearby object that you can inspect or interact with. You explore the park and watch Lorraine spiral further into desperation and madness in her search, which affects her inner monologues, the way she calls out to Callum, and even the way Callum responds to her.
A lot of people idolize their children. You hear them talking about their kids and just the way they talk, their fucking voices make me want to vomit. My angel likes to read, and little Johnny is so good on the piano. Fuck those people! You give up 9 months of your life carrying them, you traumatize yourself giving birth to them, and then you spend the rest of your life as their slave.
The game runs about an hour to 2 hours long if you take your time, to as short as 40 minutes if you ignore most of the rides and set pieces, which I don't suggest you do, as it really takes away from a lot of this game's story and insight into the relationship between Lorraine and Callum, even if it's somewhat likely you'll figure out the ending before it all happens. All in all, despite an admittedly weak start and first impression, there might be something here for psychological horror fans, and I recommend checking it out. It's up to you if you think the $10 to $13 price tag is worth it, but I certainly found it more worth the price than the beginner's guide. There's definitely something extra to be gained here for fans of the Secret World though, both mentally and physically, as you'll gain some account rewards if you have both games. Of course, if playing the park got you interested in the Secret World, the game also offers a 7-day trial for new players. Just be wary that the Secret World isn't unfamiliar with rough, unimpressive starts either.